Manila. Reuters. Leaders from across Asia joined U.S. President Donald Trump at an extravagant gala dinner in the Philippines capital on Sunday, a show of amity in a region fraught with tensions that have lurked behind his marathon tour of the continent. Philippines President Rodrigo Duterte set the tone of cordiality ahead of the 2 days of summit meetings he will host, suggesting that despite their differences over claims to the South China Sea, the leaders should not discuss the issue. "We have to be friends. The other hotheads would like us to confront China and the rest of the world on so many issues," Duterte said at a business conference, as planes carrying heads of state and government attending the summit landed in quick succession in Manila. "The South China Sea is better left untouched. Nobody can afford to go to war. It can ill afford a violent confrontation." Hours earlier, during a bilateral visit to Vietnam, Trump offered to mediate in the dispute over the South China Sea, where 4 Southeast Asian countries and Taiwan contest China's sweeping claims to the busy waterway. All the claimants will be at the summit, except for Taiwan. Trump will join leaders of Southeast and East Asian nations in Manila over the next 2 days, the last leg of a tour that has taken him to Japan, South Korea and China as well as Vietnam. The sheer length of the trip, the longest to Asia by a U.S. president in more than a quarter-century, may reassure some that, despite Trump's America First policy, Washington remains committed to a region China sees as its strategic domain. Glitzy dinner. Leaders of the 10-member Association of Southeast Asian Nations ASEAN, China, Russia, Japan, Canada, South Korea, India, Australia and New Zealand arrived one by one for a glitzy gala dinner where they were entertained by singers and dancers. Each of the men sported a cream-colored barong, a traditional Philippines shirt made of fiber from the pineapple plant, embroidered and worn untucked. They were served a 4-course Filipino-Asian fusion meal curated and prepared by chef Jesse Sansioco, who also designed the menu for Pope Francis when he visited the Philippines in 2015. Police used water cannon to prevent hundreds of protesters reaching the U.S. Embassy in Manila ahead of Trump's arrival. Carrying placards declaring "Dump Trump" and "Down with U.S. imperialism," the left-wing protesters were blocked by police in riot gear with shields and batons, and then showered with jets of water from a fire engine. U.S. President Donald Trump toasts with Philippines President Rodrigo Duterte during the gala dinner marking ASEAN's 50th anniversary in Manila, Philippines, November 12, 2017. Reuters. Jonathan Ernst. The United States and its former colony, the Philippines, have been strategic allies since World War II. Trump is expected to try during the summit to shore up relations, which have been strained by the mercurial Duterte's notorious anti-U.S. sentiment and his enthusiasm for better ties with Russia and China. Duterte, sometimes described as the Trump of the East because of his brash style, said last week he would tell the U.S. president to lay off if he raised the issue of human rights when they met. More than 3,900 Filipinos have been killed in what the police call self-defense in a war on drugs declared by Duterte. Critics say executions are taking place with no accountability, allegations the police reject. But Trump, who has been criticized at home for neglecting rights issues in dealings abroad, praised Duterte in May for doing an unbelievable job on the drug problem. INDOPACIFIC. Trump's tour comes against a background of tensions on the Korean peninsula following exchanges of warlike threats and insults between North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un and Trump over Pyongyang's nuclear and missile development program. China has been urged by both South Korea and the United States to take a more active role in curbing North Korea's nuclear and missile ambitions. During his tour, Trump and his team have repeatedly used the term Indo-Pacific instead of Asia-Pacific for the region, which some see as an effort to depict it as more than China-dominated. Pacific Rim nation leaders agreed in Vietnam on Saturday to address unfair trade practices and market-distorting subsidies, a statement that bore the imprint of Trump's efforts to reshape the global trade landscape. The Summit of Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation (APEC) countries in Vietnam put on show the contrasting vision of the America First policy with the traditional consensus favoring multinational deals that China now seeks to champion. Manila hosted the APEC summit 2 years ago, and at that meeting Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau won a Twitter poll with the hashtag #ApeChotty that asked people to vote for the most attractive leader in there. Journalists swarmed the youthful leader and screamed in excitement. On his latest visit, Trudeau visited an outlet of Jollibee, a chain that has become a byword for Filipino fast food, chatting and posing for selfies, charming the people of Manila again. This story has been refiled to correct word untucked in 10th paragraph. Additional reporting by Neil Jerome Morales, Enrico de la Cruz, Minolo Serapio and Martin Petty. Writing by John Chalmers. Editing by Ryu Gopalakrishnan. Or Standards to Thomson Reuters. Trust Principles.